Summer is here, and with it comes warmer temperatures, and for some of us, it introduces tiered pricing by our power companies. What's that, you might ask? Simply, it's when the utility providers like to stick it to you, or more specifically, charge you more during what they call peak hours. To help control our expenses, I thought to produce a video that speaks to the scheduler within my mining software. It's a helpful feature that allows us to pause, reboot, shut down, or in some cases, start mining. While HiveOS and other programs have a scheduler, I'll be referring to my preferred choice, which is RaveOS. In any case, the topic of using a scheduler is still very much applicable to our mining strategies. For this video, I'll be using my own utility company, Consumers Energy, as a reference, so keep in mind that your experience will be dependent on your electrical provider. Let's first review why I have an interest in using the scheduler during the summer months. For this, let's crunch the numbers to a single 8-card rig. The rig historically has pulled 7.6 kilowatt hours in a 24-hour period. Per the billing statement, the non-summer rate is 0.95 cents per kilowatt hour. Some might believe that to be acceptable. However, the accountants and politicians got creative, and they separate the cost of power and the distribution of that very same power to two separate line item expenses. Consumers Energy enjoys charging an additional 0.064 cents per kilowatt hour. So for a more accurate picture, we'll add the two together for what is nearly 16 cents. So in the month of May, the rig cost about $38 to run. With the current market, I am fortunate to break even on any given day, and at the same time, I don't mind choosing to pay for that power out of pocket and hodl the rig's yield. However, in the summer, that's a different case, especially during this bear market. The summer will cost more because there are two different rates, referred to as off-peak and peak hours. Off-peak hours are rated at nearly 10 cents per kilowatt hour for 19 hours a day, while the 5 peak hours each day are billed at 0.158 cents, which is a 35% price difference. I do find it ironic. Often, when the word summer is used in advertising, it often implies sun, sand, and all-around family fun. Not in this case. It's almost as if the power company smiles at you, all while holding a broomstick. While we could bend over and take it, we also have the option to extend the proverbial middle finger and use the built-in scheduler to more conveniently manage our rigs, and ultimately the power consumption that we consume. Let's take a look at the process to setting up a scheduler. First, make sure the rig that you want to schedule is turned on. From the dashboard, let's click on the scheduler icon. Next, click on Add Rule. This is where we will identify the rig and identify the specific directions that we want the rule to follow. Let's give it a name, such as Sample Schedule. In RaveOS, users are able to identify clusters, which is a group of multiple rigs, or the individual workers. In my case, I want to single out the individual worker I keep in the lower level. Next, we need to choose a command. Our choices are miner, stop, reboot, or shut down. These are pretty self-explanatory, especially the stop, reboot, and shut down commands, since all three have the exact same parameters to set. Let's choose stop. Next, we will choose the start date. By clicking on it, we are presented with a calendar. Choose the date that is best for you. Next, moving on to time zone. Notice UTC. When was the last time you discussed Coordinated Universal Time? I imagine it's been a while. So how does it relate to your local time? This will be different depending on where you live, so I will leave a link in the video description to help figure this out. For me, I will set UTC 5. I want the command to run at 1400 or 2 p.m. local time. Conveniently, you can set this rule to repeat, with choices of once, every day, or weekly. I am choosing weekly, which allows me next to choose what days of the week I want this to be applied to. I like this because there's no change to the billing rates on the weekends. Lastly, we have to set the rule so it knows when to stop running the scheduler. Your options are never, on a particular date, or after a set date. For me, I am choosing the end of summer, and that's it. You're all done. Of course, you can return to the scheduler and make any edits, or if you want to delete it, that's an option as well. But what if we want to point our rig to a different project on a regular basis? For example, 2 projects with an equal 12 hours of each day. The scheduler can help us do this as well. Let's add a new rule. Fill in the required information, but let's pause at the command pull-down menu. You have the choice of co-op or split. Choose the wallet that you want to work with, followed by the coin and what miner to use. Like before, set the date and time that you want this rule or action to be performed. If this is something that you choose to do, just as a reminder, set a schedule accordingly to have the rig stop mining. I don't know if it's necessary, but I like the idea of it being a cleaner transition from one project to another. Previously, we established that the rig would cost approximately $38 a month during a non-summer billing cycle. However, during the summer, I am looking at as much as $42. What I plan to do is only run the rig during non-peak hours, or 19 hours a day. On a daily basis, it may not seem like a large savings. It's only about 35 cents. But over the course of a month, that becomes $11. And for me, I have a total of 4 rigs running at this location, so the savings can add up. Especially in a bear market, it can't hurt to be a bit more conservative. That will do it in regards to the review of the scheduler that is built into the Rave OS operating system. So is it right that power companies charge a peak rate? Maybe. I'll let you decide. Their intent is to encourage rationing, which helps avoid possible brownouts. However, any person who suggests that we are to use more electrical devices and become more dependent on electricity while at the same time not embracing the advances of nuclear energy is an absolute moron, or in other words, a politician. In any case, it's a snafu. Speaking of snafus, a big hand to the SEC, again showing the world how incompetent they are. Hopefully Binance and Coinbase will win their lawsuits and give us hope for a brighter future. Enough of that, I suppose. Are you using a scheduler within your mining strategy? If so, leave a comment below. Of course, to help the channel, I must encourage you to hit the like button. If this is our first time together, consider subscribing. It's much appreciated. As always, be mindful of your uptime, and thanks for watching.